That's all I did.
Good?
We're starting.
So did you know that marijuana was used medically as early as 2900 BC? So according to Robert Deitch, the Chinese emperor from this era noted that marijuana was a very popular medicine to use for illnesses in 2900 BC. So medical marijuana is a very interesting topic, so that's the reason why I picked it. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to describe what it is and how it works on the body, what symptoms that the marijuana can medically treat, and also the risk of medical marijuana. So Kevin Bonser and Nicholas Gerbis described in HowStuffWorks.com that the chemical in marijuana, which is called THC, is known as a psychoactive chemical. Once THC hits your bloodstream through inhalation, it could reach your brain in just seconds. So your brain has different cells and they're called neurons. And neurotransmitters is a chemical, it's a normal chemical in your brain that helps the neurons communicate to each other, and that's how your brain functions and your body functions. So when THC hits your brain, it actually blocks the neurotransmitters from helping the neurons to communicate, and that's why you get those adverse effects. When people use marijuana, they describe the symptoms as relaxation, dizziness, haziness, lightheadedness, and sometimes towards the end they'll start getting paranoid and they panic.
Does this touch your growth?
WebMD states that more and more states now are actually approving medical marijuana because of of the different symptoms that it can relieve. So the main symptom that medical marijuana can actually relieve is pain. That's the number one. This could have to do with cancer, nerve pain, or even chronic migraines. Another symptom that marijuana has been proven to relieve is seizures. I've seen plenty of videos where parents will give their children a form of THC, the children that have epilepsy, and it actually improves it. Also, THC has been known to be prescribed by doctors for people who have nausea or people who have a loss of appetite. But even though there's a lot of positive aspects about medical marijuana, we also have to keep in mind that there could be a lot of risk. DEA stated that medical THC is not FDA approved, and the reason why it's not FDA approved is because you have to smoke it. And since you have to smoke it, it's hard for FDA to approve it because it's hard it's difficult to give a regulated dose when it comes to smoking. Also, the chemical itself, THC, can actually cause new health problems. And it's actually known that, you know, if you roll a cigarette with marijuana, it has 4 times more tar than it would with a regular nicotine cigarette. John Walters from the National Control Policy also thinks that, or he believes that using marijuana could be a link to a risk of cancer. So in conclusion, you know, I went over what marijuana is, how it works. I went over the symptoms that it can relieve and any risks that it could hold. So with all this information given to you, I hope you can use that to base your future medical marijuana use. Thank you.
Maybe one time
I want some for my pain.